RMJ Movie Reviews back again. This is the beginning of my happy Halloween horror movie reviews for the month of October, like I do every year. So I've been trying to kind of, I'm attempting to switch them up a little bit this year. So I'm trying to put in some obscure ones I like, ones that aren't good, but I'm reviewing them anyway. And then, of course, like I always do, I'm going to review the traditional Friday Nightmare, maybe a Child's Play, maybe a Texas, or Chainsaw. So, Leprechaun you'll never see on this channel. Any of them. Not even one or two. But anyway, debatable why I'm reviewing this, guys. I don't know. And it's not even the right month, but I chose it anyway. Valentine. As you can see, this is a very retro DVD. You can even see on the back here, this is actually from October of 2004. I think I did buy this from a Blockbuster, but I don't even think I actually paid for it being $19.99. I think I actually bought this like when Blockbusters closed and it was clearanced out. But you might be able to hear it's all like broken up. But anyway, Valentine. I'm not a fan of this movie, but to quote Rob Zombie on the Halloween 25th anniversary documentary, horror fans will go to see a horror film or a sequel knowing it's a piece of crap. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but Rob Zombie says something to that. And there is no other case with Valentine. When Valentine came out, it was a year after I graduated, digressing like I always do. I was 19 years old, and, hey, I've been a slasher movie fan for years. I did not go see this theatrically, but I did see it when it first came to Blockbusters, and it was still actually a VHS tape at that time, when Blockbusters had the little summary of the movies on the back and the big old letter thing on the side. And I hated the movie. I never liked it. The only reason I even saw the film was, number one, it was a slasher film. Number two, it reminded me of My Bloody Valentine, the original one, way before the 3D remake. And also, it was directed by Jamie Blanks, who directed Urban Legend. Urban Legend is a guilty pleasure of mine. I think I did it on my channel last year. So, I was kind of in for that reason. But anyway, I always hated it. Looking at the movie, 16 years later now? This movie has strangely grown on me, but not in the way that I actually like the film, just in the way that I can have fun with how terrible it is. So this almost goes into the category of so bad it's good kind of territory. About the best thing I can say about this movie is Denise Richards, because she's got those lovely blue eyes. And I think, I don't know her name, Katherine Heigl is in it. This is when Katherine Heigl, just like before she was like Hollywood eyes. She looks really good and natural in this movie. I really love that. And who's the other girl who's in this? I believe it's Kate Capshaw's daughter. I can't remember her first name. Something Capshaw. But she's actually very pretty. I like her. Which I didn't notice when I very first saw the film. But this is definitely like so bad it's enjoyable. And the one thing about this movie is the very essence of a generic slasher movie. Matter of fact, this was made way after. Of course, this was because Scream was a big hit and they were still plugging them out. But by 2001, after Scream 3, these movies had pretty much like they died out again. But I would compare Valentine to the lesser known, less popular, very generic 80s slasher movies, something maybe like Final Exam. Those of you who are hardcore 80s horror movie buffs, you'll know that movie. And Final Exam was about as generic as you can get. I definitely put Valentine in that category of the post-Scream era. And it's just, the movie doesn't work as a mystery, because when the movie came out, what's his name from Angel, David Brazondio, wherever his name is, who was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, it was clearly advertised that he was the killer before, so we knew that from the advertisements. And then when it comes to the kills are very truncated and generic. There's literally only 2 kills in this movie. Okay, maybe I'll give them, maybe there's 3. We'll say 2.5. And that's the big problem with Valentine. It doesn't work as a whodunit. It doesn't even work as a slasher movie because, okay, there's a medium amount of kills, but they're so far in between, and they're so, like, just, they don't have any impact except for those 2.5 that I mentioned, which I'm going to tell you in a minute. And also, too, the characters are such douchebags. I mean, let me tell you something. I am totally on the side of the killer in this movie. The way these characters behave when they, because the whole thing is, this is straight out of like Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis, or Prom Night, or one of them things where characters did a past evil, so now the killer comes back for some generic reason to seek bloodthirsty revenge, which is cool. But my thing is, you better be bloodthirsty. Give me some nice boobs and give me some nice sadistic, depraved kills. Valentine doesn't give you any of that. You know, and I think the word is derivative. It's a derivative whodunit because you already know who the killer is. Angel, why is he in the movie? He just pops up and gives these little very sentimental, I'm not drinking anymore, and all these little speeches he gives. You know he's the killer. What other reason is he around for in the movie? You know, so it's just, and everybody else is, I mean, everybody's a complete scumbag in this movie. Everybody from top, even the cop who's here to help the girls is a scumbag. And these girls are so self-absorbed. They're so. I will give Denise Richards' character. Maybe it's because Denise Richards, I cut her a little bit of slack, but I kind of slightly liked her because she seemed like this sexually aggressive girl who maybe underneath was sad inside. So I could kind of maybe see that in her. But they're all so self-absorbed. I was totally with the killer. I'm like, man, please dispatch every single last one of them. And dispatch all the guys, too. The guys are, I mean, the men are complete dirtbags in this movie. But that's to balance out the misogyny of the film. Because, you know, basically the killer is going after these chicks for dogging them out. So, you know, you got to balance it because you can't have all the women being dirtbags. You got to make the guys that much more dirtbags than the girls in this movie. But every single one of these characters are absolutely atrocious. They're all sleazy, disgusting, self-absorbed characters. And by the end of the movie, I wanted the killer to kill every single one of them. Now let's get on to the killer. The Cupid, this guy on the cover, he is the most generic, sorry killer of all time. Man, you know, one thing, Leatherface, Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, even Chucky, I'll even say Leprechaun. Even Leprechaun has a little oomph to him. This Cupid guy sucks. I mean, he got smacked in the face with a pool stick. He is the most generic, weak slasher movie villain ever. He looks cool because he's got like this cool black coat, black leather gloves, and he looks cool, but he's just weak, man. He sucks as a villain, and he's honestly not even in the movie that much. The entire film is anticlimactic. It's okay. Let me talk about the good kills. Okay, so there's one good kill, which is with the bow and arrow in the museum place. I really like that one, and I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, Valentine shoot him with the bow and arrow. I like that one. That was a good one. And Denise Richards' kill was just, that was epic. I mean, to lock her in the hot tub with the glass and come through with the drill, a la Slumber Party Massacre, and then throw it in there and electrocute her. Absolutely mean-spirited, disgusting, but it fit this kind of movie, and it really had an impact because it was just really so icky, and it was claustrophobic, and it was uncomfortable, and I was like, that was a good one. The other one was probably the perverted neighbor guy who's like trying to like put on the girl's stockings, and he gets basically pistol whipped with an iron. The killer fries the side of his face and then just kind of just takes the iron and just kind of goes like wham, wham. Totally mean-spirited and disgusting. But like, again, you know, I didn't actually want to see the guy getting whacked with the iron because I thought maybe that might have pushed it too far. But like literally, I think if I recall, there's literally 2 swings. There's 2 whacks with the iron off screen. And I think maybe I'm being a little bit sadistic, but I think if maybe they would have put in 2 more swings, you know, whack, 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 I think it would, you kind of would just, but as it stands, I think there's 1.5 or 2, and it's just like, he burns them, psh, whack, whack, and it's over with, and it's just like, and the guy gets the one in the axe, that's done with, and I know Jamie Blank said on the commentary when Katherine Heigl gets the throat cut, that it was much more graphic. I just kind of feel like, and they said they didn't want it to be that grisly, but I just kind of feel like it's a horror film. I mean, this is made for teenagers, young adults, early 20s. Why not? You know, so I don't quite understand that logic. But okay, so basically that's everything that I totally hated about this movie. But in retrospect, now I can really look at this movie as a really bad comedy. Because these characters are so self-absorbed that they don't even know how dumb they are. Like, there's a scene where, like, this chick has been kicking it with this guy for a month, and basically he's a swindler. He's been swindling out of his money. The detective is like, okay, so how long you known this guy? What's his last name? The guy's living with her now. She doesn't even know his last name. I'm like, I mean, they're total ditzes. They're dumb. And what I love is this detective sleazy guy. He's the best. His comedic timing is so hilarious. I love how she just goes like, they're trying to figure out what the killer looks like because they've already solved the mystery. This is like 30 minutes into the movie. We already know, and we got a whole nother hour to go of this thing. And they're like, what do you think? Do you have a photograph of how he might look now? And the cop turns and looks at her and he goes, well, if you think I had a photograph, don't you think I'd show it? I was just like, it was so funny. His timing is just the best because these girls are dumb. And he's just had this look on his face like, I'm dealing with a bunch of... Like, he has a look on his face almost as if he wants to say, like, you deserve to die. It's the best. This dude's comedic timing. I just love that scene in the police station. When I first saw it, I just didn't get it. But now, I'm in on the joke. They're all dumb. And I'm telling you, I want to rewatch this movie again just for that scene. And I think another good scene is where Capshaw, the girl Capshaw, her father is dating like some chick that's like younger than her. And I just love when those two get into it. It's hilarious because they're both dirtbags. It's just funny. It's funny because these people are awful. It's so awful. So I really do think that Valentine works as a comedy of ignorant yuppies who are being dispatched in generic and grisly ways. I think it works for those purposes. And also, I guess if I go into the finale in the reveal that Angel, the guy from Buffy, is the killer, very generic, very unsatisfying. And the thing about it is like, the movie doesn't even end like most of these killer movies end like where the girl has like Sydney from Scream. There's a final battle to the death. You know what I mean? All these movies end like that. This doesn't even consist of the Cupid killer guy chasing the girl around the house, grabbing her ankle, trying to stab her, whatever. You don't get none of that. It consists of the main girl finds the dead cop. She literally runs around the house by herself, finding dead bodies. She finds a gun, walks up the stairs. The Cupid dude literally falls on her. They fall down the stairs. He lays down, gets up Michael Myers style. Angel from Buffy shoots the Cupid killer guy. He's dead. Movie's over. Oh, whoops. He's got a nosebleed. Oh, Angel from Buffy has a nosebleed, so he's the killer. Movie's over. That's Valentine for you folks. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, hit the little bell, and for those of you who saw Angel and was a teenager at the time, like I was, or have seen it recently, probably none of you have, or please I want some fun-filled comments, please. Let's have some fun and trash this movie, please. Those of you all who are like my faithful commentators and subscribers, I know you all have something to say about Valentine. You'll probably ask me, why am I reviewing it? I just gave you all those reasons. Please, let's talk about Valentine. Please, guys, go in on this movie. We got to talk about it. I'm going to be back with another horror movie review. I'm going to squeeze it as many as I can, okay, guys? It's going to be fun. See you soon.